college and retired a couple of years after that, after undertaking other activities at the senior level in education in the state. Murray's been a Rotarian since 1997, was president of her Club Adelaide, and since 2004 has been centrally involved in a number of district activities and committees, culminating, of course, in her current term as district governor. Murray and her husband Ken, who is also with us today, I'm pleased to say, have 2 children and 3 grandchildren, and a grand dog too, I think, according to what she told us at the board. 5 grand dogs. And I understand, Murray, what that means to you currently. Dog sitting, a grand dog. Without further ado, I'll ask you to welcome Murray Dorrington.
Thank you, Chris, and good afternoon, Rotarians and friends of Rotary. It's really good to be here. And I thank you for the very warm welcome that Ken and I have had today. I was really interested, Tony, in your story because we have a son called Anthony, and the only people who still call him Anthony are his mother and father. I guess, well, I trust he's not looking forward to the day that he can tribute Tony to everybody. But congratulations on coming back. I think this is our 37th visit to a club today. That leaves us with about 10 clubs to go, not that I'm counting. So it's the 37th time that Ken's heard me speak, and I think John Campbell must be up to 5 or 6 by now as well. So I will endeavour to say something just a little bit different so that they don't think they've heard it all before. That implies Ken's listened every time, I'm not sure. But no, actually he does. He does. One of the great joys for me has been the theme this year. The theme, Peace Through Service. I think that's a wonderful theme. Peace is something that Rotarians have always held dear to their hearts. But to actually have a year when we can focus on peace through service, I think is really important. I love the way that President Sakuji Tanaka describes peace. He says, peace in all the ways that we can understand it is a real goal and a realistic goal for Rotary. Peace is not something that can only be achieved through treaties, by governments, or through heroic struggles. It is something that we can find and we can achieve every day and in many simple ways. I think the way that Sakuji Tanaka describes peace is one that prompts me to ask, what does peace mean to each of us? What Rotary projects that you're involved with that are dear to your heart focus on peace? Our 11-year-old grandson has an answer. He came out to breakfast recently and his mother asked him what he wanted for breakfast. And he replied, I want a hug. And she said, that won't fill your tummy. And his reply to that was, no, but it will fill my heart. I think that's a wonderful description of peace through service. Sakuji Tanaka puts it just a little differently when he says his hope is that Rotarians can provide a world in which children have dreams. I think it's an onerous challenge, but one about which I can believe we as Rotarians can do something, and which I know that this club is doing a great deal. I think the work that you were doing with the homeless in the city of Adelaide is an absolutely wonderful way to bring peace to the lives of those people. And I really congratulate you for the way that you're doing that. We all know most important of all. And I see the role of the district to work with you and for you in everything that you do. And I ask that if there's anything that I can help with or that the leaders in the district can do, then please don't hesitate to ask us, and we will do our very best. As we've moved around to a number of clubs, it's been very evident that things are different from one club to another. We were in Whyalla recently, and there are two clubs in Whyalla, and to go from one on Monday night to the other on Tuesday night was to go across bridges. They were so different. However, there is always one thing that Rotary clubs have in common. They have in common the core values of Rotary. Those core values, of course, are things like friendship, fellowship, fun, service, diversity, leadership, and integrity. So they're the core values that we hold dear. How clubs implement them can vary, and vary quite a lot. And I think that's really good. At the Rotary Success Conference in Canberra in July, RI President-elect Ron Burton, who of course will be at this club shortly, was asked, in Rotary, are we allowed to do? And I actually don't remember what he was being asked, are we allowed to do? But Ron answered that with both body language and words. He said, last time I looked, there were no Rotary police. And we went on in that conference to discuss what I just said, that it's about core values and how we implement them and differ from club to club, and that's okay. One of the things that I think is really interesting is that in the proposed legislation that's going to go to the Council on legislation in 2013, and I'm sure there are many Rotarians in this room who have been Rotarians longer than I have, who are aware that that happens every 3 years. There are actually 6 enactments that are being proposed regarding attendance, for example. All of those 6 are proposing amendments to the attendance requirements. One of these, interestingly, is from the RI board, and it seeks to revise club attendance requirements. And actually, if you look at their proposal, it deletes almost every requirement from the standard Rotary Club constitution, and instead suggests that clubs should include what their requirements are in their bylaws, and that they should include not only attendance, but also participation in the club's regular meetings, projects, events and activities. This enactment, they believe, will give clubs greater autonomy over membership, retention and recruitment. So while it's a change to membership, proposed change to membership attendance requirements, it is basically about membership. Another proposed enactment seeks greater flexibility to allow Rotary to appeal to younger members, which they believe are more attracted by projects than they are actually by belonging to a regular meeting time. Another enactment, and there is another proposed by the RI board, is to allow greater flexibility for clubs in structuring their weekly meetings. A club service project or club-sponsored event would not need to be held at the same time as a weekly meeting, so that there would be times when clubs might even cancel their meetings for a project of some sort. Now I know that there will be some Rotarians who will find some of those changes that the RI board are putting forward difficult. Now there is of course no guarantee that a proposal enactment from the RI board will be passed by the Council on legislation. But I'd have to say that I think it's probably got a fair chance of getting through. So I guess we live in a time of change in our organisation as well as in other places. The RI strategic plan describes us as a worldwide network of inspired recent statement, and it's part of the RI strategic plan, and we have adopted it as our district strategic plan. It talks about the core values of Rotary, as I've mentioned them, and it talks about 3 priorities. The first is to have strong clubs. It talks about the importance of having vibrant clubs where people have a great sense of belonging. It talks about innovation and flexibility. It talks about a variety of club projects. It talks about the importance of membership, the importance of recruiting, and the importance of retaining members. It talks about starting new clubs. And I think there is a strong chance that we'll have a new club at Ceduna by the end of this Rotary year. It talks about the importance of strategic planning, and it encourages us all to ask someone to join our Rotary Club. So membership is really critical for our district. We are now below 1,300 members. The signs thus far this year are really good, but it's something that we are focusing on as a district, and I know this club and all clubs in our district are focusing on. The second of the priorities in the RI strategic plan and adopted by the district is to focus on and increase humanitarian service. They ask that we continue to do that and to do that with passion. They ask that we focus on the areas of new generations, working with youth, and on the 6 areas of focus that are in the Future Vision Plan. They remind us of the importance of partnerships. They ask us to be part of significant projects, as this club clearly is. And of course, there's always the importance of donations to the annual programs fund of the Rotary Foundation. I smile as I say that because when I was in one club, I was asked if I was going to do what every district governor does and talk about the foundation. So I've tried to keep it to an absolute minimum today. The third area is that of public relations and marketing, letting people know the really, really good work that we do, making the brand out there. It is well known, but what we do is not as well known as what sort of a drink Coca-Cola is. Probably not a good comparison. So we need to promote our core values. We need to emphasise the work that we do. In this district, we were successful with District 9520 in getting the maximum RI grant for marketing. So we're doing a number of things. One of them is to run a series of cine-ads in the theatres in Adelaide and in the major areas in the country. We have created a new website called Time for Rotary. The website's been quite a long time coming because we were doing it largely on our own as a district, but now District 9520 is part of it. There's been some tweaking and some changing, but we will now have a public relations website for both districts called Time for Rotary. It is very close to being launched. On that, we'll have lots of fabulous stories about projects that Rotarians in both districts and internationally are involved in. We are hoping that people will go there. I'm told by people who know that if we have our ads in the cinema, people will pull their phones out of their pockets and go straight to www.timeforrotary. I hope so. We are particularly hoping that it appeals to a younger audience. I think the website will be a really interesting one, and I urge you to keep trying, and we'll let you know through the dispatches as soon as it's available. So what else is happening? We're going to have a peace forum. You might already be considering going to a peace forum in Berlin, a peace forum in Honolulu, or a peace forum in Hiroshima. If you can't get to one of those, please come here on the 23rd of February, 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock for a peace forum. Really good guest speakers, a chance for other people to share this magnificent environment, a chance to hear about all forms of peace that are important to all of us. That night there will be a dinner again in this room. Secondly, the VTT team that's already Singh is, of course, the keynote speaker. When I was speaking in Maitland, at the Rotary Club of Maitland, someone from Yass had just heard Lee speak, and he said he was spellbinding. When he finished speaking, there was silence for a moment or two before people started to applaud. We think we've got some really other good speakers, and I'm told that my conference committee has some plans for a little skit at the beginning. Those of you who were at the last conference might remember we had a little skit, one where the current district governor, who was then the district governor-elect, actually hadn't thought through well enough how hard it would be for a mature woman, a very mature woman, wearing a red chemisette, very, very, very high shoes. She hadn't thought through how hard it would be to get out of a trishaw elegantly. You would have to ask those who were there whether I achieved it. I suspect not, but it did cause lots of laughter. And that's the main thing. And we hope that this conference will be full of laughs as well as meaningful speakers. So in conclusion, I want to say thank you. Thank you for the many wonderful things that this club has done over the years, for the many wonderful things that you are currently doing, and the many wonderful things that you will go on doing in the years ahead. You are a significant, a very significant part of our district. I think our lighthouse. And I look forward to you as a club being that lighthouse well into the future. And I just want to finish with a story that I told at the changeover. If we lived in the Wild West times of the United States and we put a stagecoach, we could have a first-class ticket, a second-class ticket, or a third-class ticket. If you had a first-class ticket, very appealing. Then, if there was a problem with the stagecoach and it broke down, you stayed on it. If you had a second-class ticket, you got off and watched while they fixed it. If you had a third-class ticket, you got off and you worked. You worked to repair the stagecoach and get it going again. So I thank you for belonging to a world-class, first-class service organisation called Rotary International. But I especially thank you for buying third-class tickets. Thank you.
Thank you, Mari, very much. We have some 5 minutes for questions. Do we have questions from the floor?
Mari, Barbara Derham, formerly at Whaler, and I'm pleased you met both clubs. They've worked very hard to remain two separate clubs. I think they've tried to do it quite well, so I'm glad you worked together.
Thank you. Thanks, Barbara. They are both wonderful clubs, both incredibly committed and very different in the way they each serve. But one of the clubs actually is really good at fairy floss. If you're ever desperate for multicoloured fairy floss, go to Whaler.
Thank you very, very much for a very enlightening talk. I want to just pick up on your reference to a decline in numbers. Now, certainly we're probably above a certain age in this group, and some people say we want younger ones in, and others say we need those that have retired because they've got more time to do the service. But I suppose the question I've really got is this, is what are the things that we need to overcome that are obstacles to people joining or finding the time other than lame excuses, which I think a lot of people do have. So I'm very interested in your comments about the things that are going to change membership numbers.
The question was about, my thinking is about what's going to change a decline in the number of members. And whether it's young people or older people, those retired or those not retired. I think my answer would be all of the above, because I think we all have a role to play. However, the reality is that we are a mature group in Australia, and I suspect in other parts of the world. That does mean that we've got more time, but we are going to have to appeal to younger people. At the Success Conference conference in Canberra, the suggestion was that we had actually missed an entire generation and that we should concentrate on younger people, like our own age, a little younger and younger again. I just think it's everybody. But there are some really good signs. One of the signs is that John's Club, the Rotary Club Adelaide Light, is about to charter a Rotary Club. 25 members, I understand 25 people came to hear about belonging to that club. I've got that right hand. Great sign. It was at the Saracen's Head. That sounds to me like a really good place to gather young people. In terms of other young people, I think when I talked about the enactments, the proposed enactments from the RI board, I think what they're aiming at is that we begin to look more diverse than we currently do as Rotary International, so that we will continue to have clubs that meet as this club does, as my club does, and other clubs in the district do, but that we might look at other ways. We might have young people dropping in for drinks together, and that becomes their Rotary Club, so they meet over drinks rather than over a meal. There's a satellite club to the Rotary Club of Narracourt. There are a group of young people who meet for breakfast at McDonald's. They belong to the Rotary Club of Narracourt, but they meet differently. Now, having breakfast at McDonald's is not my way to go, but clearly it suits a lot of them, and the coffee's actually quite good. So there's that. I was at Nazareth College recently, and they have in partnership with the Rotary Club of West Torrens with a fabulous sports project. And I looked from their little cafe into an area where there were some mothers with their babies. My suggestion to the principal and to the president of the Rotary Club of West Torrens, that could be a Rotary Club. Those young women with their children, that could be a Rotary meeting. Or it might be that there's a weekend club. And so instead of meeting during the week, there are a group of young people in a new suburb that meet for a barbecue on the weekend. I think we have to be really, really flexible. And I'm sure there are hundreds of ways that I haven't even thought of and certainly haven't spoken about. But hopefully, I think diversity, what we're selling is a first-class product. Does the world need us? Nevermore. So what we need to do is to yell what we're doing from the rooftops and encourage people to join with us to do things differently if that's what they want. But we are needed, and I am sure that in the end we'll be successful. Sorry, a very long answer.
Are there any more questions? One last question. Thank you, Tony.
Mr. Governor Murray, lovely to have you here today. Again, reminding us of the core values of what Rotary is about. At this stage, we have approximately 50 people from this club attending the district conference in Bendigo. And I've been pushing them pretty hard to try and get these Rotarians who haven't been to a district conference to come along, because it will open a vista of the things Rotary does in the world that they would never ever have dreamed of. If you could give it a plug for me from your point of view right now, it would be great. We have only 5 rooms left. So we'll have 60 people at that conference. Thank you, Mary.
Well, first of all, thank you, Tony, for arranging for so many people to be part of it. I hadn't been a Rotarian long when Ashley Rain in my club asked Ken and I to go with him and his wife to a conference. I couldn't get over the number of people Ashley knew across the district. Several years later, we went, and several conferences later, Ashley actually remarked that I now knew more people than he did. So I won't say that excuse me, that invitation to go to a conference actually meant that I'm standing here now as the DG, because that'll put you all off. But I am saying that it is a wonderful world, and it's a way to get to know people, it's a way to enjoy being with people, it's a way to get to know more about Rotary, and it's a never-ending panorama of things that there are to know about Rotary, and it's a way to be heard. I think the guest speakers are going to be fantastic. I can't think of why you wouldn't go. Bendigo's a great place.
extensive